What is good, y'all? Welcome back to Appreciate Greatness. Today we got the big 2-round mock draft. This is going to be predominantly what I would do. It's going to be heavily based off of my big board and really just if I was the sitting GM for all of these teams, what I would do. And I'm going to incorporate maybe some trades and explain to you the thought process behind. But we're gonna kind of pretend that every single GM is kind of going off of my big board because I am the GM of every team, if that makes sense. So, some maybe unrealistic trades, maybe, it happens, whatever. But that is the goal, that is the plan here of this mock draft. Really based on what I would do, I'm going to explain to you my picks and my prospects. And then I think at the same time, we're going to see if any more trades happen. I do want to do one more predictive mock draft. If not, I might do one on stream. If you guys need a place to watch the NBA draft or just want to come hang, chill out, talk the draft with someone, maybe you don't have someone to talk the draft with, I'm going to be in a live stream, streaming the draft, doing my own little draft show. I have the thing extremely close to that, extremely fun. So if you want to talk the draft or, get my thoughts or get someone else's thoughts or even argue with me, I would love that. I would love to have you in and watching the draft with me. But this one, and my reason to bring that up is I'll probably do a predictive mock draft before the draft starts. Might even do another one of these before the draft starts, just to, just get the live stream going, see how everything is with the stream. But to start it off, if I was the Washington Wizards, I would be taking my number one player on the board in Cam Boozer. And I think this is, obviously it's been everywhere, this pick has, and I think that Cam Boozer is ultimately the highest ceiling, the lowest or highest floor player in the NBA draft by far. He's a guy who is super physical, and we saw just how physical the playoffs have been allowed to be the past year, especially past 2 years have been super physical. It's never been as physical as it is now. Cam Boozer fits that really well, but he's also got great feel. And you think about all of the great players in the NBA: Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Giannis is a freak, Shea. Those three of the best 5 players in the NBA are super built off of things outside of just super explosive athleticism, great leaping, stuff like that. They're built on feel, processing, strength, and I think that goes a long way for Cam Boozer's case as number one pick. I don't think AD plays a role in the future of the Wizards at all. That's why I love Cam Boozer paired with Alex Sarr. I think that's a dynamic duo of the future for a long time. At 2, if I was the Jazz, I would easily take Darren Peterson. He's going to give you at least a 2-guard threat, but I think he is a better playmaker than Keontae George was out of college. I think he'll end up being a better playmaker than Keontae George is currently. He's also a really, really good defender, can generate stocks, does it on both ends, has really incredible burst, bend, balance, gets into the lane. Struggled to finish a little bit at the rim specifically, but had a really good paint finishing. I think he finished around 47.6% of his paint touches. So that's really pretty good. But yeah, I think the shooting, off-ball, on-ball playmaking, like whatever you need him to do, he can really do it as a guard. And I think that's the best pick. And then if you're the Grizzlies, you can't be upset about A.J. Debonsa falling to you at 3. He's just this offensive engine. He's going to be really good offensively. Obviously, there's some playmaking passing concerns. There's 3-point shot concern, but very great mid-range shooter. I think he has best in the world footwork already. I think he's up there with like the Jalen Brunsons, the Sheas. I'm trying to think. Jokic has really good footwork. I think he's up there with those guys in terms of footwork. Giannis has good footwork. So I like this big 3. I love it. They're all fun. They are in this order, my big 3. And we're going to stay in this order here and go Caleb Boozer at 4 to the Bulls. I think this is the most obvious pick of the draft, man. SLAP is their new motto. Size, length, athleticism, physicals. physicality maybe. And Caleb Wilson embodies that. He's a very high ceiling player, but he's still really raw, and that's what people really. I don't think you've heard that enough. Probably, if you're just a neutral, casual follower of the draft, nothing wrong with that. But I think that people get so caught up in the tools and the stats that they haven't really seen that there are some lapses, there are some technicality issues with Caleb Wilson defensively. Obviously, sky's the limit on that side of the ball. The jump shot, the three ball especially, it's just super slow. Decent shooting indicators. The midi he wasn't really bad at. I love his post game. I think it's Giannis-esque post game where he can use his size and athleticism out of the post, but also has a little bit of a post fade that you have to be wary of. At 5 for the Clippers, it's a spot where I could see a trade, but I think if you're the Clippers, you have a pick of best of the rest, and I don't think here. Obviously my 5 is LeBaron. I do really love Ade Mara playing with Darius Garland and Kawhi Leonard, and I think I'm going to do that. I did that in my first mock draft, I believe. I might have done that in my fit mock draft as well. I just love the fit there. I think you can really get everything out of Ade Mara. He's a really good hub handoff player, also a good short roll passer, really good feel. Can block shots, also gets to play with Yannick Konen-Niederhauser, so he's got another center, and he's not the prime shot blocker or rim protector on the court at all times. I think that's really important for him, especially as he's young on his rookie contract. Probably the whole time it's going to be a pretty steady dose of like staggered minutes of where he's going maybe 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes at a time, and not playing much more at a time than that. Especially just with his conditioning being 7'3" and maybe even foul trouble. I think he's smart enough to not get into foul trouble. He's a really good shot blocker, but that's kind of the concern there. At 6 for the Nets, I just want them to get a lead guard. They have Nolan Traore, who I love. I love him as a pick and roll guard, and I do think that the highest upside guard is probably going to be Mikal Brown Jr. I also love his fit alongside Nolan Traore because of how good of a three-point shooter Mikal Brown is, because the Nets have shown that they can develop you into a shooter if they need to, and shout out Mr. Joman. But yeah, I think Mikal Brown, it just makes a lot of sense here. I think I did him in my fit maybe mock draft. He's a really good passer off one or two hands. I think that's what the Nets are trying to build, is just a whole bunch of guys. You look at Joman, you look at even Drake Powell can dribble a little bit. Danny Wolf. Those are all guys who can dribble, pass, somewhat shoot, but dribble and pass. And I think that's kind of what the Thunder drafted as well, is guys who could dribble, pass, but just advanced feel. I think Mikal Brown has it. He has turnover problems, but he also tries passes that no one else in this draft class tries. That is why he's my pick there. At 7, it's a really interesting spot, especially for my board. You see the 5th guy on my board still available, the 7th guy on my board still available. And the reason he's 7th, I have a weird way of grading players. The reason Bennett Sturts is ahead of Mikal Brown, I do think there's star upside in Bennett Sturts, don't get me wrong, because again, you have another guy who's really great feel, really great shooter, had really high usage in college, took a big role in college. So I think that Sturts has a chance to even be better than Mikal Brown, but it's just more, I'm much more comfortable taking him than as if I'm the Hawks or the Mavericks or the Warriors or the Thunder. If I'm a team trying to compete, I'm way more comfortable taking him than Mikal Brown. And so that's kind of, that's why he finds himself over Mikal, and I don't think he's that far off just overall as a player or as an upside player. But to the Kings at 7, again, it's tough because I am in love with LeBaron Philon. I think he's got the upside as a lead guard, but I don't think the Kings are his fit. I think he's going to be a superstar. I just don't think the Kings are his fit. I do think that Acuff, it just makes so much sense. Offensive, they love offensive superstars. I know I said I'm the GM of every team, but I'm still thinking a little bit of what the Kings like. I'm trying to feel around, get fit. The Kings love their offensive superstars. went out and got DeMar. They have a guy on one ACL in Zach LaVine who's exactly that. Malik Monk. I mean, they just take these guys who are often, even Keegan Murray, his year at Iowa, he was really, really good offensive player. They don't really draft much defensively outside of like Devin Carter, Davion Mitchell. I think Darius Acuff is just the obvious pick. And then 8 to the Hawks. This is where we're going to go LeBaron Philon. It's a really good fit as well. He's a guy, he can play right behind CJ McCollum, have a steady dose of bench minutes and getting to run a unit as well still. But you also get to see him playing kind of the role he did as a freshman at Alabama, where he can be a defender. He showed two sides of him. He showed the superstar offensive guru that he is, really improved from freshman to sophomore year, but he was also a point of attack defender, getting steals, making plays, blocking shots even, and that's why I really love LeBaron Philon. I think he can fit in anything. In worst case scenario, I think he's going to be just an insanely fun spark plug off the bench. At pick 9, I love Keaton Wagler to the spot. I've said it before, I'm saying it again right now. Wagler is 15th on my board. There are guys here in Sturtz, Anderson, who I'm really high on. And the more I've thought about it, the more I really do love Mr. Bennett Sturtz to the Mavericks. And let me explain. Keep Kyrie, don't keep Kyrie. Doesn't really matter. I love Cooper as the point guard. I do. I kind of like, obviously, I don't like him as the point guard, but I like him as a decision maker. I think that alongside Lively and Gafford, you have two really good screeners, pick and roll, lob threats. I think you're adding more shooting around Cooper, which is always great. You're adding another guy who can take a heavy dose of ball handling responsibility, let Cooper play off ball, come off pin downs, whatever it is, play off ball a little more. But you also have a guy who, when he is on ball, you have a guy who can really knock down shots, shoot off movement, attack closeouts, and is a really solid defender when he's not, when his usage just isn't skyrocketed. And then if you keep Kyrie as well, you have a real two-guard, backup point guard, bench guy who can come in and take some of that responsibility, but also can play alongside Kyrie. That's why I really like that. 10 to the Bucks. Interesting pick. You have a lot available. I think you go highest upside. To me, I love the Dalen Swain pick here. I like the Christian Anderson pick, but I really think Dalen Swain, this is a team who really needs wings, especially young wings. I love Ryan Rollins. You now have Khalil Ware. Jaime Jaquez is what he is. You're going to have to extend him or trade him. Tyler Hero is not a part of the future. You get Kasparis Yakuchonis, so you have another guard that you're trying to develop alongside Ryan Rollins. I think you go Dalen Swain here, a guy who can get down inside, take a little bit of ball handling responsibility even off of Ryan Rollins, off Kasparis Yakuchonis, and maybe even help feed Khalil Ware some, as he is a pretty advanced passer. But he's just a really great ball handler, especially for his size, can get downhill. The shooting is touchy. I think he's got great shooting indicators. I think his jumper looks solid. There's some things you can build on with it, but I think it looks good enough at this point, and he has just tremendous upside as a wing and pretty solid defender all around as well. At 11, you see two guys who, 11 and 12 really, you see two guys who these two teams probably won't touch in real life. These two guys will not fall this far, I can tell you that. Trying to decide who goes where. I mean, obviously I don't want to, like, if Keaton Wagler is the best pick for the Warriors, I'm not going to have him fall to the Thunder, you know. But even then, I am higher on Yaxel than I am both these players. I'm higher even on Christian Anderson than I am both any player left on the board. However, I love Keaton Wagler off ball and on ball. I think he's a ball handler that can take a little bit off of Steph. He can shoot the ball. That being said, you have a really, really great role player here. I'm going to go Keaton Wagler because I think it fits with the Warriors a little better. Now here at 12, I'm going to do something that might shock some people. Kingston Fleming's obviously fantastic ball player. He's teleports to the rim, would honestly do a lot for their ball handling. But I just think Yaxel Lindeberg is such a perfect fit. He's a great versatile defender, can shoot it, can attack closeouts, can make plays off the dribble, super physical, great rebounder, might even be a Wimby assignment type guy. Like, he's just perfect for them in that 13. Obviously, you get Kingston Flemings, and you can even flip these two around. Flemings goes here, Swain goes here. I think it's a pretty realistic draft for them, even. I mean, you've heard some things about Flemings potentially dropping. Like, this could very easily be Braden Burries, and you get Flemings at 10 if you're the Bucks. So, very realistic draft, honestly, if you flip these two picks around for the Bucks, and I really like it. At 14 for the Hornets, I think you just go physical guard. I do think they need size, but they pick here. I can't put away their first and main need, which is physicality, size, rebounding. They got bullied by the Magic. This guy won't get bullied. He's the best rebounder in the draft by far. Can run the floor even. Not a great shot blocker. His size obviously gives him, and sometimes he's out of position. He's not really smart defensively, but his size just gives him some natural rim protection. He's super athletic in a straight line. Can dribble it a little bit. Has a whole lot of shooting potential. I really like Hannes Steinbach, and I think he's like a potential future. He's a potential Kalkbrenner on drugs, really, to me. And then at 15, that means Braden Burries has fallen all the way here, and the Bulls get a great shooter. Not really slap. I mean, physicality is definitely one of Braden Burries' strengths, but he can really shoot it. And with some of the guys they have now, adding Claxton, you get Caleb Wilson and Braden Burries in this draft. I think you go home super, super happy. At 16 to the Grizzlies, I would go Ament here. Not super high on Ament, but this is it's a team who's I trust in development, and I think could potentially develop Ament, but I like Quaintance, and as much as I like him, I like Abuko Okori even more. I think him as a lead guard, or even Christian Anderson, I cannot believe I've let him fall this far. I should have went Christian Anderson with the Bulls. I might just do that. Hold on. Okay, we're back at the Bulls 15. As I said, we're going Christian Anderson here. You get a really skilled three-point shooter. You get a really good playmaker. You have Josh Giddey obviously playing point guard, but he can play the 2 or the 3 or whatever. He's tall and long, and he's what he is defensively. But I do love Christian Anderson's fit to the Bulls. I think he adds shooting, which they desperately need. And obviously he doesn't fit slap as much as like Braden Burries would, but I still think it's a great pick. And then here to the Grizzlies, we'll give them Abuko Okori still. A lead guard who can get downhill, take some pressure off AJ early. Scottie Pippen Jr. also here, so you can have, and even Cam Spencer. So you have guys who can take the load off of him a little bit, but still, I think Okori is the perfect guy here just because of his elite get to the rim ability and possible 3-level scorer at a high level as well. At 17 to the Thunder, you have Burries, who's a great shooter, great off-ball player, good defender. I love Merez Johnson there, but I just can't pass that up. 14 for the Hornets. They already took Steinbach, who is going to be the guy who kind of just is your physical specimen. I want a guy who can get paint touches. And as you can see, there's no one there. I mean, there's no one here that is going to go out and get us paint touches. So what we're going to do is we're going to double down, take a guy who I really love. He's the highest player left on the board for us, in Jaden Quaintance. I think this is a potential steal of the draft. The reason I have him so low, the sole reason, is the ACL injury. The things I've seen post ACL, post even season of Quaintance into the draft process. I don't love some of the stuff I've seen with him landing awkwardly and weirdly away from his knee. I just don't love that. So I like Quaintance 18 here. For the Raptors, it's a really interesting spot. Obviously could always use more shooting. Don't really need another forward in Merez Johnson, but he is probably the best player available. I think on my board it actually is Cam Carr, best player available. No, it's Merez and then Cam. Yeah. I don't know why I forgot that completely. I do think Cam Carr is a good pick here at 19 for the Raptors. Gives you some shooting. Jacoby Walter, I love him, but I think Cam Carr is a little better shooter offensively, just all around than him. Good movement, feel, again, good shooter. And defensively, there is a lot to be desired. I think high hips doesn't move particularly well, but you have Scotty Barnes, you have Colin Murray-Boyle. Even Jakob Poeltl gave you some good playoff minutes at times, so I like Cam Carr there, give you extra shooting. At 20, this is the most just easy pick. Merez Johnson, play the 4, be physical, more physical than anyone. I think he weighs 250 at 6'9". He's 6'10", really. He's an elite defender. Versatile, can run the floor, block shots, rebound, do whatever you really need him to do. It's crazy he fell this far, but, it makes sense. I could see him going here, but I do like Steinbach's fit with the Hornets a lot. 21 to the Pistons. Shooting is always a need. I wish there was a ball handler available. I don't think any guard is falling here. I think all these guards are going to be gone by then. So it's interesting. It's a tough spot for the Pistons to pick in. Again, I think it's shooting. You are trading Isaiah Stewart, so you maybe just replace him with Zuby. I don't love Duren. This is a weird spot here. It's a very weird spot. All right, I've made my mind. I've made up my mind. I like Delaria. I like his shooting, his off-ball feel. He's got great on-ball feel as a passer. I think he can help take some responsibility off of Cade. A little Hugo Gonzalez. I looked right at Merez Johnson. Hugo Gonzalez-y. The defense is solid. He plays really hard. He's played great competition. He's got great feel. I think this is a really good landing spot for him. 22 to the Sixers. I'm going to go Allen Graves here. Give you a 4-man who can stretch the floor a little bit, has good feel, gets steals, can block some shots, fouls a lot, but can also play the small ball 5 rebound really well. I like that pick for them. 23 to the Hawks. We already took, if you remember, LeBaron Philon. Probably want to go big. Luckily, there's a lot of bigs available. Not super high on Kareem Lopez at all. Not high on Koa Pete. Higher on Chris Sinek than any other big on the board, but only because of his upside. And it's tough for me to just want to take an upside swing, particularly here. I actually am higher on Zuby than anyone. Where's Zuby? I really like Zuby. Let's go Zuby. Unbelievable defender. Really, really, really good passer. Really advanced handle even for someone his size and his stature and his role. Can shoot it a slight bit, and it's improved every year. I love Zuby there. You get Philon and Zuby Ejiofor, and you walk out happy. 24 to the Knicks. It's an interesting spot here. It's very intriguing. You have Sinek available. You have Malik Thomas available. Bruce Thornton. Oh my gosh. Are all some of my favorite players available. It's weird because I'm not sure what's going to happen with Mr. Deuce McBride. You obviously got really great minutes from Jose Alvarado, a short guy. Who knows what happens with him? Could they use more shoot? Landry Shamit's there. I really think you just get a biggest guy available, Henry Vesar. Also have Taurus Reed. I go Vesar a lot because he stretches the floor. I can't go away from Henry Vesar here. Vesar stretches the floor, plays really well in the Mike Brown offense in the role. He's such a good passer. Not as good of a shot blocker, rim protector all around, or defender all around, but just offensively fits in so well and can honestly handle the ball a little bit even and pass off the live draw. He's really one of the more incredible passers in the entire draft. At 25 to the Lakers, I think it's going to be Taurus Reed. Another really good passer, especially out of just the pure post as he's backing down guys. Really good shot blocker. Not a superb athlete, but super strong, good rebounder. Kind of what DeAndre Ayton could be if he cared. Let's put it that way. Super strong, good rebounder, physical. Also can pass a little bit, which is not something that Mr. Ayton can do. Looking at our draft board, it's getting a little slim here. I do love everyone quite a bit. I would say, I'll just give y'all this real quick. My 1 through 3, obviously, group of their own. 4, group of his own. 5 through 18, a group of their own. 5 through 19, group of their own. 20 through 23, group of their own. And then 24 to about 35, 36. I could see Jacoby Gillespie being a star even. So 23 through 39, a group of their own, and then 40 to 47 probably in a group of their own. 48 to probably 62 in a group of their own. So that's just how much, there's some guys I love, but I think it's just all super close and compact more than any draft ever, or I've ever done. And, I've been doing it since 2022 at this point. So 26 to the Nuggets. I'm going to go Chris Sinak Jr. Normally I do go Koa Pete here. I think I did that in the fit mock draft, but I love Chris Sinak Jr. here for the sole purpose of athleticism. I think he's not like a superb athlete. He's a good rebounder, has great floor spacing potential. I think he's just super raw. It's almost like you're taking another... What is his name? How am I blanking on an NBA player's name? He's making $8 million. Zeke Naji. Good Lord, Richie. I think it's kind of like taking Zeke Naji here, but I don't think he's going to turn out to be that bad, 27 to the Celtics now. I don't really know what they could do. I think I'm going to go Josh Jefferson. I really don't. This is a weird pick to me, really, in the entirety of the draft. I love Ryan Conwell. Honestly, let's go Richie Sanders here. Another wing. Super handsy guy. Great shooter. Can play. Great off-ball feel. Great. Even solid passing feel. Doesn't really attack closeout super well, but just super smart off-ball mover and all-around really fun player. 28 to the Nets. Let's take Nate Ahmet here. Do we want to waste this pick, though? Because you could go Malik Thomas, get more shooting. Could go Baba Miller, take an upside swing there. Let's just go Nate Ahmet. I feel like the Nets are perfect for it. Take him there and slow it down a little bit. At 29, tough spot here for the Cavs. Could get more shooting, never hurts, but I don't think shooting is really a concern. I do think some defense playmaking as well, and Baba Miller, it's very intriguing. I'm going to go Baba Miller here. 30 to the Mavs. We did already take Bennett Sturts for them, gave them a guard. They could use center play, but I'm going to give them Cooper Flagg's former teammate Isaiah Evans at the 30 spot. A good shooter, plays off ball, actually much taller than I thought. Super lanky, solid enough defender. Good hands, pretty handsy, pretty quick. 31 to the Knicks. Another just really interesting spot. I wanted to take Bruce Thornton first time around to play the Deuce McBride role because I'm not sure what Deuce McBride's future looks like in New York. But I'm going to go Ryan Conwell. I think he's the best off-ball player. Played a lot on ball as a senior at Louisville. Can drive, can rim finish really, really well. Finishes in the lane well. Can really shoot. Has good defensive feel. I really like that pick. 32 to the Grizzlies. I think this is another one of those where you want to take upside. You kind of want to take a swing. You have a Corey. You have DeBonsa. Both in this draft already. Do you go Koa Pete? Do you go a guy who is highly touted as a recruit? A guy I'm not super high on? Or do you just go for a guy who's going to be steady and like maybe an Alex Caravan who could just provide good, solid minutes. I want to take an upside 5 swing, I think. You have Zach Edey, who's awesome, or you could go Trevon. Let's go Trevon Brazil here. Again, it's an upside swing, but he's a guy who can potentially stretch the floor, be a lob threat, a really versatile defender because of the way he moves. Just pretty raw still in all of those areas. For the Timberwolves now at 33, it's a weird spot that they're picking in. Really, they need ball handling. They need point guard play. Do we go point guard play here? Do we think that guys can actually compete at NBA level year one in this group? Not a ton. Let's go Jacoby Gillespie. The reason for that is, again, really good off-ball player. Came off a lot of pin downs at Tennessee. Really is more intriguing as an off-ball player, but on ball in the Rick Barnes offense, I think he had the highest assist percentage of any Tennessee point guard ever. Highest, maybe even averaged the most assists of any Tennessee point guard. Like, he had a really special year for the offense that he was playing in. Really good passing feel, can really shot make. Again, I see a potential world where he's a star. The reason I have him low is just it's definitely a potential world, if you know what I mean. It's like us reaching Mars, you know. 34 to the Kings. Let's go Koa Pete again. They like their offensive upside swings. Koa Pete is a defensive upside guy in my opinion. Offense, you get what you get, but I do like that pick for them. Just get a forward who's physical, can rebound, can play multiple positions, or can guard multiple positions, and just give you some extra because you took Acuff and maybe a good screener for him. 35 to the Spurs. Caravan makes a lot of sense. I think even Braden Smith, Bruce Thornton make a lot of sense here. I'm going to go Braden Smith. I'm getting sick, I think. I'm going to go Braden Smith. Again, I think he's kind of a guy who can play the Chris Paul role where he's one of the best passers in the draft. He played with Zach Edey. He can throw these lobs up to him. I really like that for them. Just get a guy who is willing to throw a damn lob. 36 to the... My chair is squeaking so much. 36 to the Clips. Josh Jefferson has fallen way too far for a team as good as them to not take advantage of that. For the Thunder at 37. This is an interesting spot. I'm getting sick. It's happening on spot right now. This is crazy. Very interesting spot here for the Thunder. Don't hate Caravan. I love Ugana Onyenso. Let's go with Mr. We could go off-ball shooting. I'm going to go Kareem Lopez. It feels like a pick of Sam Presti's sorts. A guy who has solid enough feel offensively. Pretty good defender. Can be pretty versatile. Pretty strong guy. I like that at 37. 38 to the Bulls. Let's get him more shooting. Malik Thomas. I need to start flying through this a little more. 39 to the Rockets. You get Bruce Thornton. I think that's a really big win. And I'm not going to lie. All of these second-round picks, very realistic. Very realistic. Other than maybe Josh Jefferson's a first-rounder, in my opinion. Koa Pete will probably go more up here in the first. But other than that, I feel like this is a very realistic second round so far. To the Celtics, don't hate Ugana. Let's go Isaiah Nelson, though. Super springy forward. He's a center, though. Can really block shots and rim protect. To the Heat here, they need a guy who can help them win now. Caravan can do that, run off screens. You get Giannis and Bam, so you have defensive infrastructure for him. Let's go Caravan here. All right, to the Spurs here at 42. They have another pick, which is crazy. Let's go Emmanuel Sharp. Keep him in Texas. A really good defender, can shoot the ball. Super physical. Again, I think he fits kind of their what's the word, culture, their play style. 43 to the Nets is interesting. Now they need a center, which I didn't even think about here at 28, but I mean, Amit's there. You probably just go upside swing. So 43 to the Nets now. Very interesting spot. Very intriguing. I have two centers in mind. One is Raphael Castro, who's the 73rd ranked player on this board. The other is William Kyle, who is the 74th ranked player on this board. I'm going to go, who am I going to go with? I'm going to go Rafael Castro. He's kind of got the passing feel that the Nets have been loving in the drafts recently. Really good shot blocker, gets a lot of steals, great wingspan. I think he's got really good feel for a big at this point. For the Spurs at 44, let's just go draft and stash in Jack Kyle. 45 to the Kings is an interesting spot, and I think this is going to be your William Kyle spot. Again, a really good rim protector, super bouncy, athletic, big, who can be really fun alongside Acuff in a couple years. 46 to the Magic. If you get Oyana and Yinso, that's a really big pick for them. Really good rim protector, good shot blocker. That's really just what he does, what he specializes in. 47 to the Suns is an interesting pick. For the Suns here, I'm going to Ernest Udeh. Moves like a dream. He's just, the way he moves at 6, just for being how big he is, it's unbelievable. Can really defend. I think that's a really fun high upside pick for them because they need a center who can really defend like that. At 48 to the Mavericks, I'm going to get them more shooting, another wing. And Lamar Wilkerson, I think, has just some insane scoring potential. They've taken these swings with guys like Jaden Hardy, guys like Brandon Williams even. So I like this pick. I think this is a team that could potentially take Lamar Wilkerson, and he's a guy I'm really high on. 49 to the Nuggets. It's a really weird spot at this point with the guys that have gone. I'm going to go, however, Tamim Lipsey. Lipsey is just a really do whatever it takes to win point guard, but gets a lot of steals, really good defender, plays super hard, good passer. I like him alongside Yoke. At 50, this another team who just needs guard play, some ball handling. And my highest player that fits that bill left on the board, I don't know where he is, and I can't type, is Duke Miles at 50. At 51, I mean, just take some high upside guys. A lot of these guys are just old at this point, which is crazy because normally you have some guys who are, ooh, I like this. Let's go Jaden Henley. Jaden Henley really gets downhill, good driver. A lot like Dalen Swain, just worst shooter, kind of worst at everything, really. Worst defender, worst at everything, but super athletic, big, and pretty good driver. Pretty good downhill threat. Let's go Jaden Bradley here because he's still left on the board. Seth Trimble's still here. Rockets love their defenders. Let's go Seth Trimble, super athletic guy. Him and like Amin Thompson would have no shooting, but some fun. Peter Suter feels like a warrior. Good feel, good shooter. Peter Shooter. The Knicks, let's go Cashy Knack for them. Good defender at the guard spot. Needs a lot of offensive development. I like Mike Brown's development system. For the Bulls, we're going to go Kadir Copeland, slap. I think that fits really well. Aaron and Nkrumah to the Hawks. And I have 3 picks to get some shout-outs for some guys I really like here. All right, we're going to go with this pick. We're going to go Malik Brown out of, I don't know why I can't type tonight, out of Duke to the Pelicans. At 59 to the Timberwolves, I'm going to get a guy who's going to stay in, I think it's an X. We're going to go Jackson Kohler. Staying in the North. I like Jackson Kohler a lot. I think he's got potential as a floor stretcher. Not really a good defender, but can pass a little bit, has some feel. Has a lot of feel offensively. He's a guy I really like. And then let's take just the highest upside swing possible here with the 60th pick for the Wizards. And we're going to scroll, and if we see some interesting, let's just talk about some names. Tyler Nichol, great shooter. Milos Uzan can get into the paint. One of the most athletic people on earth. And Toby Lawal, a guy who, if you can figure out his jump shot, is probably going to be really, really good. And Dylan Mitchell. Not a guy I'm super high on these two at all. Jaron Pierre I really like, even though the age is concerning. Kylan Boswell I really like. He's still only like 21, played 4 years of college ball. Really good feel, just good defender. Just a winner. Toby Awaka, great rebounder, super physical. Malik Lewis can really get downhill, good athlete at the forward spot. He might be the pick here. Deion Brown, sure. Let's go. Seva Ishchenko, 45% shooter from Russia. That's who we're going to pick here. Let's talk about some other guys, though. Jalen Sellers is a really fun player. Javon Hadley, great rebounder, kind of does it all, really good defender. For some reason, Michael Rataj has a chance to be picked. Cruz Davis isn't in this draft anymore. Dami Daniels, 5'10", out of Cal Baptist. We saw him at in March Madness. Jackson Pavletsky is really fun as well. Let's go Seva. And that will do it for my full 2-round mock draft. I hope you guys enjoyed. I love mock draft season. But this is kind of my spin on it. What I would do more or less if I was a GM for each team. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I might even drop another one. But if not, please tune into the draft live stream, man. It's going to be a ton of fun. I've been working really hard to get it set up, and yeah, it's going to be a blast. So just at least stop in for a bit if you want. But that'll do it here for this video. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment, please, telling me who you want your favorite team to draft or who your favorite player in this draft is. I know that you have some country ties even. Germany. Both these guys, I believe, isn't Christian Andersen German? Hold on. Yeah, they're both German. That's what I thought. I thought Christian Andersen played for Germany. You have 2 Germans here. Spain and Ade Mara. Spain and Sergio De Laria. Latvia? Is it Latvia? Maybe for Vesar? God, I wish I knew. I think Baba Miller's Spain. Kareem Lopez, obviously Mexico. Germany, again, for Jack Cahill. So, some country ties as well. Some college ties that, people love their college team. So, yeah, if you have a guy in this draft, please tell me who it is and why. And, yeah, try to respond to everyone. But I love y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for what you've done for the channel the past couple of videos. And keep doing it. Love y'all. Peace.